Hello everyone, I'm Matthew Allen. My mic is apparently very loud today. I don't know. It seems to be peaking in the recorder like a lot, which doesn't make sense because I'm both sitting further away than usual and it's still pretty much set to the same setting, so I don't understand what has it so incredibly sensitive right now. So I'm sorry for your ears. I'll try to sit a little further back. I'm already like kind of whisper speaking because it's so late, guys. It's so ridiculously late. It's 10 minutes to 4 a.m. on April 4th, the day this is coming out. Because depression. I've been so depressed this week. Dude, guys, I did not leave my room yesterday. Because it was yesterday. I didn't leave my room yesterday until 11 p.m. I did not leave my room until 11 p.m. and I left it to go wash my bed sheets. Because I knew they needed to be washed, because I have a schedule. I schedule this stuff out. Like, depression it's a real knocker. It's a real kick in the knackers. Depression is a real kick in the knackers. Oh god, what a stupid joke. That is the joke that would leave my mouth at almost 4 in the morning, right? Just me in a stupid voice going, kicking the knackers. Before I get into any of the real news, hey, if you're listening to this and you watch the streams, I don't know what happened on Friday. I really don't. I'm so confused about what occurred. My computer just died, essentially, and the stream just devolved from there. But I think it's some of the funniest shenanigans that has ever occurred. But I also think that from this point on, I might just have to stream directly from the console systems for the ease of my desktop until I don't know, get the money to go build me like some cool, dope, like big boy desktop or something. You know, something not something that can actually handle all the things I do, and also get a better capture card. No offense to Hippachi. Dude, why is the mic peaking so hard? The gain has not been changed. It hasn't, so I don't understand. I'm watching me clip so ridiculously hard. I will have to probably turn this down. I'll find out later. I now have to sneeze. I'm so sorry. Oh, God, that was loud. Yeah. The stream broke. Shout out to Jordan and Jordan's kind existence that was there for the entire breakdown. Because I think I would have been much sadder if there wasn't another human being present with me when everything just hit the fan. Because everything hit the fan, dude. It didn't make any sense. I think I have to sneeze again. No, I don't. I don't know why I have to sneeze. I probably have allergies, if I'm being honest. I've spent my whole life pretty certain that I might have some allergies, but just never getting tested because that's weak sauce, dude. Who gets tested? No. We just accept that we have allergies, and we let the stuffy nose happen, and we move on. Speaking of moving on, I'm gonna get into actual things that I want to talk about from the past week that got written down, which wasn't much because I think the entire week in which I depression spiraled was pretty much carried by one thing and one thing alone, and that was the slap heard round the world. You know? If you know, you know, and if you know, then you know that I'm referring to Chris Rock and Will Smith, because the internet has been memeing the heck out of them over that slap, and I think it's so funny. For those who don't know, Chris Rock, he made a G.I. Jane joke to Jada Pinkett Smith while hosting the Oscars. And it pissed off Will Smith to the point that Will Smith got up onto the stage and slapped Chris Rock and then got back to his seat and said some mean things that I won't repeat because I'm sure you've all heard it at this point because it's funny. And the memes have been spectacular. Okay, the memes have been spectacular, and I love them. I love them so much. My favorite so far still has to be the Skyrim one, where Chris Rock goes flying off a mountain, and the line that Will Smith yells gets turned into a dragon shout. Beautiful. It is the peak of stupid humor. I love it. I love it so much. What is my mouth doing? I don't know what that was. It's just a lot of spittle. But that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's a weird situation. I have no side. I don't care. Those people make hundreds of millions of dollars. I am just a humble podcaster to like 3 people. No one cares my thoughts about this, and I don't have an opinion to give for it. Instead, I'm just gonna not be able to speak apparently. Instead, I'm just gonna kind of go through the winners, because I didn't see the Oscars, because it's too long, dude. It was nearly 4 hours this year. Even with them trying to cut back on stuff, it was nearly 4 hours. I was like, that's kind of crazy. And then also, it was kind of like maybe casually racist? I don't know. I'm just kind of going off the memes I've seen, which I think are real funny, but I saw another one, and it was about, where did it go? Yeah, apparently, Daniel Kaluuya and her, when they took the stage, at a certain point to announce, like, I assume winners, like, you know, the nominees and then the winner for a category, the Oscars played Toto's Africa as their entrance music. And then also, when 70 Beatrice came out to, I assume, do the same thing, they played Madonna's La Isla Bonita. Why? That's so goofy. That's so incredibly goofy. I just want to know the thought process behind that choice of song. Well, those choices of song, not that choice. There was 2 songs. I'm not dumb, I promise. Because it just feels so incredibly funny. I just want to know the thoughts, man. I want to know the thoughts. There's gotta be some thoughts behind those eyes. Do I need to burp? The answer was yes. I did. I did indeed just burp. Anyways, the winners. What a podcast. Coming for Whatta Thought, dude. You're gonna get such great thoughts. So, Coda won Best Picture. I know it is a movie about, like, the deaf community and ASL. I'm very intrigued to check it out eventually. I've seen exactly one scene from it that I did think was pretty funny, because it is pretty much exactly how I imagined a situation where hearing kid with deaf parents and they have to go to doctor and interpret for them would go, and I loved it. And I was like, now I need to go watch this movie. But they won Best Picture. Out of all of the movies that were nominated, I had only seen 2, which was West Side Story and King Richard. Oh no, I saw 3. I just kind of forgot about Don't Look Up because the movie wasn't good. I don't think it deserved any nominations, if I'm being honest. But yeah, congrats to Coda for winning. Best Actress in a Supporting Role did go to Ariana DeBose from West Side Story. I thought that was fantastic. The whole movie was great. I thought she was a wonderful part of it. My brain will never remember the name of her character because I don't remember any of the names of any of the characters from West Side Story. Because it's just Romeo and Juliet. So I just remember Romeo and Juliet, and know that Juliet lives in this one. That's it. Actor in a Supporting Role went to Troy Kotsur. It's an O, so that Ketzer one is probably incredibly wrong. Also from Coda, which I thought was dope. That's really cool. Win Best Picture and then also get to win, Best Actor in a Supporting Role. I was like, that's pretty dope. Good to him. Drive My Car won, Best International Film, Feature Film. which isn't surprising based on it being the only one that I saw in other places get talked about. I haven't seen anyone mention the other 4 that were nominated in that category. But also Drive My Car was also nominated for just Best Picture. So I was like, if it's not winning Best Picture, it's probably going to win International Feature Film, and I was correct. The Queen of Basketball for documentary short. I don't know what that is, but I'm kind of intrigued, and if my phone would work properly and give me the ability to do what I need to do so I can... There we go. I already forgot the name of the... What is it called? The Queen of Basketball. I was like, what is the Queen of Basketball? I'm intrigued. The Queen of Basketball. Lucia? That's the name. Lucy Harris Stewart is a pioneer in women's basketball, leading a rural Mississippi college to 3 national titles, scoring the first basket in women's Olympic history in 1976, being the first and only woman to be drafted into the NBA. Oh, really? Oh, it's pretty dope. Cool. I've never heard of this woman. That's a pretty honorary thing. Summer of Soul won Best Documentary Feature, which, hey, no offense to documentaries, but my brain has no idea what some of you are about. What is Summer of Soul about? Over the course of 6 weeks during the summer of 1969, thousands of people attend the Harlem Cultural Festival to celebrate Black history, culture, music, and fashion. Okay. Alright. 2 hours. Wow. Why? No Time to Die won Best Original Song, which I'm not surprised by. I was like, have you seen the people that normally pick the winners for the Oscars? It's a collection of just kind of like old white men. They're gonna go with the song that from one of their longest running and most favorited franchises, which, hey, by the way, it's also just a great song. I think it's a great song. I really liked that song. I listened to the one from Encanto. I listened to the one from King Richard. I didn't get the chance to catch the songs from Belfast or 4 Good Days. But I really enjoyed No Time to Die. And also as a James Bond fan, who is still slowly making his way through every other James Bond, having been around for the absolute just peak height James Bond theme that was Skyfall, and then watching just the below tier attempt at a James Bond theme that was Writing on the Wall, I was really glad to get No Time to Die. I was like, yeah, this is a James Bond theme. This is 100%. I was like, you hear that good old that good old orchestra back there? Yeah, that's a James Bond theme. Skyfall, it was all violins, baby. I actually don't remember what the instrumentation of that song is, but I just know that violins played an important role. I know because I played that number in 8th grade, and 8th grade? Yeah, 8th grade, and I played the violin. It was a good time. Encanto won Best Animated Feature Film, which it was against 2 other Disney movies, and then Flea and The Mitchells vs. the Machine, so I'm not surprised. I didn't see Raya and the Last Dragon, but I also wasn't interested once I saw the design of said Last Dragon. I was like, whatever. And Luca was nice. And I enjoyed the amount of memes that are just like, gay? it's just Luca. It's just images of Luca and just people being like, oh, gay. Oh, Beavis and Butthead. I will watch you one day. I think I've heard the voices enough in the past 3 weeks that my brain is like, yeah, you might want to watch this, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I've got enough brain cells for that, but we'll find out eventually. I am a brain cell-less man, in case you didn't know. That's a lie. I've got brain cells. They're in there. Best Adapted Screenplay, Coda. I didn't know it was an adapted screenplay, which I think is interesting. Best Original Screenplay, Belfast won. Best Actor in a Leading Role, as we all know, it went to Will Smith, which I still firmly believe it should have gone to Andrew Garfield. As someone who watched King Richard and Tick Tick Boom, I think the performance that Andrew puts out in Tick Tick Boom is pretty solid, because he's a really good actor. He kind of ends up in duds occasionally. Like, I watched, what was it called? What was the movie Mainstream. I watched Mainstream, and that was not good. That wasn't good. But the most enjoyable portion of it was Andrew himself. He was the charismatic portion of that movie, even though he was not the main character, nor was his character a good guy. So I kind of think that's the only one so far that my brain goes, this might have been a snub. Jessica Chastain won for Best Actress in a Leading Role for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I didn't see any of the movies that Best Actress in a Leading Role, so I feel bad, but also, Jane Campion won for The Power of the Dog for Best Director, which I thought was fine. The only other movie I'd seen on the list was Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, but I also know that there's probably that The Power of the Dog is probably a better movie, and I think it's on Netflix, so it's my own fault for not getting to it. I can get to it eventually. I just haven't done it now. Dune won Best Production Design, and as well as Best Cinematography. Cruella won Best Costume Design, which we all saw coming. We really did. It's like the only thing the movie was nominated for. Like, it's gonna win that one. And then also, for some reason, the CNN article that suddenly lists West Side Story with West Side as one word instead of two in the costume design category. Please fix that. It's annoying. Dune won Best Achievement in Sound. The Windshield Wiper won Best Animated Short Film? That should say film. CNN, what's wrong with you? Why does that say file? The Long Goodbye won Best Live Action Short Film. Dune won Best Original Score, which is interesting, knowing that Encanto was in that list. And no offense to, was that Hans Zimmer? Who did, well, no, that's music. Or was I looking at music? Yeah, I was looking at score. So I was looking at who did the score for Dune? Dune, because I know how to spell. Yeah, no offense to Hans Zimmer, but I think it should have gone to the musical. Dune won Best Visual Effects, which I enjoyed this category containing so much Disney, because it's got Free Guy, Shang-Chi, and No Way Home. Dune won Best Film Edit, and Dune won a lot of the technical categories, it looks like. The Eyes of Tammy Faye won for Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and that's it. That is the list. I did forget that Coming to America was nominated for anything, and House of Gucci. Those both kind of flopped really hard, huh? But those were the winners. I'm very intrigued to eventually watch Coda, because I'm excited. I'm swiping through these images, but none of them... Oh, I was swiping through the images because they were showing me, like, pictures to go along with the winners for each category. But it wasn't changing the little, like, underneath portion of, like, info. So I was just really confused. I was like, no. What am I looking at? But now I know. The windshield wiper. That is an elevator. It's not even a windshield wiper. I'm kind of just looking at these images like, oh, okay. Is that Andrew Garfield again? Or am I insane? Was he in The Eyes of Tammy Faye, or have I lost my mind? Because I will say I've lost my mind often. Nope, yeah, that's him. Jim Bakker. Interesting name. Dune, No Time to Die. Dune. Summer of Soul. queen of basketball. Dune, Dune, Dune. The end of the list of stuff was just all Dune, which my brain wants to read as Doom every time. Every single time. My eyeballs look at it and it just goes Doom. And I'm like, no, it's Dune. You can't mess it up. But those were the winners. I only bring it up because I know I mentioned the nominees, like I went through it briefly 2 weeks ago, because I conveniently managed to end up with a lineup that led to podcast before the Oscars, podcast after the Oscars, and then a really long What a Book on day of Oscars, or day after Oscars technically. Which, hey, by the way, we finished Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. We will be moving on to Sea of Monsters next week, which I'm hyped for, both because I really like Percy Jackson and also because it's a shorter book. It's like a third the size, maybe half the size. It's like a third. We'll go with a third. Yeah, since last talking to you all, which would have been what? Because I don't know how to math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 21st? Yeah. I watched Mainstream. That is it. It's the only movie I've seen since. Been watching a lot of YouTube. Started watching High Boy, because I think his reviews. I think his explanations of the movies are very, very, very funny. And I have to agree that seeing the confrontation between Hal and whatever the name of that astronaut is in 2001: A Space Odyssey played out like just two bickering siblings is a pretty accurate representation of how that plays out. I can't even lie. Mainstream was alright. I watched it for Andrew Garfield. Was very confused when I saw the other Wolf brother and Maya Hawke. I was like, what are you guys doing here? And then what's his face showed up. Another gentleman with a name. Jason Schwartzman. I was like, Jason Schwartzman, what are you doing here? Because my brain just knows that man is Gideon, from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Because I just really love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And then Johnny Knoxville showed up, and I was like, what are you doing here? And Alexa Demi showed up, and I was like, what are you doing here? Alexa Demi's from Euphoria. And then I saw the movie was directed by Gia Coppola, and I was like, whoa, granddaughter of Francis Ford Coppola. Interesting. Didn't know there were more Coppolas out there. I also enjoy that the further out we get from Francis Ford, the more interesting the movies become from the other Coppola children. I thought Marie Antoinette was fine. Boring, but fine. It did what it needed to do. Because that was what, Sophia? Yeah, Sophia Coppola. And now here's Giancarlo Coppola, who goes by Gia. May the Coppola line continue on. I am intrigued to see what the rest of the Coppola line brings. Oh, it's so late. They named him Schwartz? They had Jason Schwartzman play a character named Mike Schwartz? Really? The irony. You just cut off the man from his name. May as well let him been Schwartzman. Cool. Already spoke about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. Talked about finishing the first book for What a Book, which I feel like took a long time, but then it didn't, because it only took 7 episodes because I made the last one really long. So it should have been 8 episodes, but I'm stupid, and I'm bad at judging time and distance when reading chapters. I was holding like a section, right? Just a section of book left, which was about half of what I had read, and I had just hit an hour, and I was like, I should keep going. It's not that much. And then I was there for almost 2 hours, and my voice almost died, and I was like, I've made a mistake. But it was fun. That was a good time. I'm pretty certain that most of the people that do listen to What a Book enjoyed it. I hope so. I really do. It was something new. It was something I've technically done for a while. It was a friend of mine I don't talk to as much anymore. They kind of helped me with the fact that I don't have the attention span to read books, but I'm really good at reading books to people, which doesn't make sense, and I acknowledge that that doesn't make sense, and I'm sure there's some psychological reason for why my attention span does not exist unless I'm reading to another person. I think the hyper-focus of reading this book correctly to someone makes it just a good flow for my brain, question mark? A good flow for my brain. Yeah, that's what we'll go with. So, like, this has been really helpful for me, because I know if I can continue with this, and, like, people enjoy it, I'll be able to get through more books that have been, like, sort of daunting, or just that I've never finished. There's a book I own back home. I think it's called The Accidental Hero. It's, like, the first book in, like, I think a franchise of books that I've never finished. And I've tried, like, restarting reading it, like, so many times. And every time I get to a certain point, and then my brain just can't function, and just... It's a trilogy, okay. His name was... The main character's name was Jack Blank. That's so funny. The Jack Blank Adventures. Oh, that's beautiful. My nose. What am I reading? There's a fandom page for this. I think that's goofy. Yeah, The Accidental Hero by Matt Miklush? 2010. Oh my god, 12 years ago. Jack Blank Legends statue? Question mark? The cover? Are you saying that that's supposed to be Jack Blank? That doesn't make sense. The Imagination. Really? That's the name of the unknown world? Two separate words. Not the imagination. The Imagination. That's fantastic. What was the plot? Doesn't know who he is, where he comes from, doesn't know his real last name. All Jack knows is his bleak, dreary life at St. Barnaby's home for the hopeless, abandoned, forgotten, and lost. What a sad, sad name. Everything changes when Jack receives two visitors. The first is a deadly robot straight out of one of Jack's favorite comic books that tries its best to blow him up. The second is an emissary from a secret country called the Imagination, where all the fantastic and unbelievable things in our world originate, including Jack. Jack soon discovers that he has an amazing ability, one that could make him the savior of the Imagination, or the biggest threat they've ever faced. I'm sorry. Robot zombies? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. You're either a robot or you're a zombie. You can't be both. If you're a human with cyborg parts and you become a zombie, you're just a zombie. Right? And you definitely can't be a robot that gets turned into a zombie. You're a robot. Warriors, superheroes, ninjas. Ninjas. No. The original edition of the book was called Jack Blank and the Imagination. Interesting. That's the only bit of trivia down here. I think that's funny. I don't know why. I just do. What am I picking at? I'm picking at a bump on me leg. Yeah. So I finished that. I mentioned Will Smith. I guess enough time has passed. By that I mean 3 months. 3 months have passed since Scream 5 has been out. Guys, I thought it was really good. Okay? How do I not spoil this first? So as a fan of the Scream franchise, which I've been a fan for a while now. I haven't been into horror too long. That's the funny thing. I've been into horror for a couple of years at this point. I'm really, really growing my, collection, right? Really growing my collection of horror stuff and such, and horror stuff such. Thank you, Dead Meat. Real fan, real big fan. Uh, whoa, I don't know what my nose just did. Anyways, but Scream 5 came out. It's been 11 years since the fourth one, which only made it funnier because the fourth one, it had been 11 years since the third one, because holy heck, how did no one ever talk about how quickly those first three Scream movies came out? Really, like, it's like 96, 98, and then I think 2000, maybe 2001? No, I think it's 2000. So, the clothing is just not right enough to, it's so goofy. So I thought the gap was nice. We got to see, like, a lot of developments, like, changes. We got justification for, like, new characters, which was fun. I don't remember many of the things. I should have written stuff down, since I wanted to wait so long before, like, talking about it. I do think it's dumb that it's called Scream and not Scream 5. I get it's a reboot sequel, but I think that's just going to confuse people, especially if the fact that when you Google Scream 5, that's how it's labeled in Google. Like, straight up. That is what the Google search gives you. Jenna Ortega, fantastic. I enjoyed the opening sequence. I'm just going to go through the movie real quick. That's probably going to be the last bits of the podcast. I did really enjoy the opening sequence with Jenna Ortega's character, Tara. Her character's name is Carpenter, which I thought was really funny. I was like, this has to be a purposeful reference to, like, John Carpenter. But also, it probably isn't, because it's just a name. It's a more common name than you think. I know a human being named Carpenter as well, like, that's their last name. And they have no relation to the famous Carpenter. It's just very goofy. But I guess that's just the thought that most people have when, like, a name like that is used on a character in a field related to that person. So, like, if it popped up in a Marvel movie, I'd be really confused. I would just be like, yeah, that guy's name's Carpenter. But I think because it's a horror movie, I was like, oh, Carpenter. Yeah, like John Carpenter, you know? But I like the opening sequence, and I also enjoyed the deviation from the norm, because, spoiler alert, if you've seen Scream and know the Scream franchise, most of the opening sequences end in a kill. The most famous is still the first one with Drew Barrymore, but usually the opening sequence characters do not make it past the opening sequence. I think Jada Pinkett Smith and a man I can't remember the name of, they're the deaths of the second one's opening. Oh god, what's his name? Cotton and his wife are the victims of the third one's opening. And then the fourth one had the fake out opening. It had multiple fake outs and then one actual opening. I can't remember the importance of those characters. And then we had the fifth one. And I did enjoy, like, leading us in, like, oh, okay, here's this actor who's been kind of getting more famous. People have been, like, knowing her name more. She's probably gonna die, and then she doesn't, and then she sticks around for the rest of the movie. I was like, oh snap. And it also kind of played into the faking in my heart that she might have been a killer. She was not. So yeah, we go through this opening, we meet Tara, blah blah blah, and then because of Tara getting attacked, we meet her sister Sam. Sam's harboring a secret. She sees dead people. No, Sam is having hallucinations of the world's worst de-aging of Billy Loomis. Like, they got Skeet Ulrich on set and had him do it all, but, like, the de-aging they did to him made him just kind of look like a smooth version of current Skeet Ulrich instead of, like, 1996 Billy Loomis, and it was very uncomfortable. But she's having hallucinations of him. She finds out her sister's been attacked. She and her boyfriend, played by the boy from The Boys. It's like something Quaid. It's like Jack Quaid, I think. can't remember his character's name, even though I'm pulling it up. I'm not moving fast enough. Richie. Her and Richie, they go, they meet all the friends, they do the whole usual, like, oh, here's the group of friends, one of them is probably the killer, ooh. We learn that, like, all of the friends and whatnot, like, they have some form of relation to previous people that have been involved in, what's his name? Ghostface. Ghostface killings. Sam is the illegitimate daughter of Billy Loomis, that's why she's seeing Ghost Daddy. Ghost Daddy. We get a character named Wes Hicks, and he's the son of Sheriff Hicks from the 4th movie, you know, Lemon Square Lady, and I was like, oh, okay. But she's the deputy now, that's correct. We meet the Meeks Martins, the Meeks Martin twins? I don't remember if they were twins or just siblings, but no, they're like the same age. They have to be twins. But they're the kids of Randy's sister, Martha Meeks, which was really nice to see more Meeks, because hey, everyone loves Randy. It was the greatest part of the franchise when he was present. Like, I think he's just kind of remembered in the echelon of, like, top characters alongside Gale and Dewey and Sydney, and he's only in two-fifths of the franchise compared to those 3 who were in all 5. I think that's funny. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Roger Jackson returns as Ghostface. I think it's very nice. We get a nice cameo that confirms that Kirby lived in the 4th one, through like some cheeky internet stuff. We also get a cool cameo from Dead Meat. I think their channel is called Film Fails in the movie. It's very goofy. I thought the kills were really solid. Some of them were way more graphic than I was expecting. I think the one that still kind of haunts my soul is the killing of Wes, which it's so weird because, you know, Wes Craven, he's the originator for the Scream franchise. May he rest in peace. He passed away, I think, 2014. And they have the character named Wes, and you think, okay, they're not going to kill this character, but they kill the character, and then they throw, like, a party in his honor. So, like, it's a party for Wes in Wes's honor. So it's got, like, a double meaning, because, like, here's a character named Wes, but then they're also celebrating the legacy of Wes Craven. But it's a whole thing. But I think his death is the one that kind of got me the most, because I wasn't expecting Dylan Minnette to die, at least not so quickly. And I also wasn't expecting the thing they do, because like they put the knife through his throat, but like it's off to like the side, so like it goes in like a part of it and then comes out another part. It was real gross. I was like, ooh. But I enjoyed the killer's motives, in part because it just felt like it was making fun of people who's got the world's stupidest opinions on like horror franchises when they do things that they don't like. And I was like, oh, okay. It's for me. Is this movie about me? Or, as the Euphoria quote that circled around with it, hold on, is this play about us? Oh, Euphoria. I still need to do more research to properly get that podcast episode out. All in all, I had a fun time. Yeah. Scream 5 is real good. Scream franchise is real good. If people, human beings that I know that listen, want to check out the Scream franchise, I own it. I've got 1 through 4. Don't own 5, obviously. It's much too new. I'm really upset about it because every time I'm like really close to having a full set of like a horror film, a new one comes out. I was like, I've got the whole Scream franchise, and then they were like, here's a 5th movie, and I was like, and I sounded like a hobbit. Oh, you know what? I kind of forgot about how the Ghostface bites the bullets in the end. I thought those were pretty solid too. Those were some solid deaths. Those are good deaths. I mean, excited to watch the dead meat kill count once the movie hits Blu-ray. I don't think any death will hit more than fucking what's the one? The Fear Street Part 1, Kate. Oh boy, that is a death that will haunt me to the end of days. Because even as a writer, I could never think of something as crazy as that shit. That was crazy shit. Yeah, go watch Scream. That's a shout out from me. Go watch Scream. It's fun. I would tell you to go watch Euphoria, but I want you to be an adult. Be an adult and then watch Euphoria, because I think there are too many children watching that show. And by children, I just mean teens, because it's the characters are teens. So they're like, "Ooh, you should watch this. It's about us," and it's like, no, stop. Go to bed. I don't know. Join an after-school activity. Don't watch Euphoria unless you're an adult. The themes in it are things that teens should not just be outright exposed to, and then also lots of images. But yeah, that's my TED Talk moment right there. Oh, 40 minutes already. Wow. Yeah. No, brain is melting. The numbers have split into 2 sets of identical numbers for me to stare at because my mind is not there. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this recorded in it's too early in the morning, because I'm definitely not sleeping tonight. If it wasn't obvious as I sit here recording the podcast, I'm not sleeping. This has been fun. Thank you all so much for listening. If you liked it, check out everything else that I do. There's a link in the description. If you follow it, you can find my YouTube channel where I do games. I put a video up every single day, and it's real cool. It's lots of fun. It's lots of funs? No. It's a lot of fun. Yes. If you want to see just me lose my mind, you should check out the Twitch, because you'll see me do that every day. What? No, you'll see me do that Friday, Saturday. It's only 2 days, but you'll see me live. And me live is very different from me talking to myself. Yes. Anything else? There's social medias down there, Instagram, Twitter, only things I have. But you should check them out. They're pretty great. Lots of cool designs by Kingsley, including the thumbnail that's on the podcast and on the YouTube videos, and also on What a Book and everywhere. Kingsley's designing lots of things. Love that child. Great kid. Thank you all again. I've been Matthew. This has been the Whatta Thought podcast. It's too early. Maybe I'll sleep, but I will see all of you next week.